Well, hello there, gorgeous. I'm so glad you could join me for another day in the studio. Today we're going to focus on a resin pour with resin art. And there are some really cool things about resin art that I'm going to show you in this video. So let's take a look at our supplies. And I'd like to focus on the resin art because I used Blue Moon, Green Apple, and Wild Jasmine as my colors. All of their colors go together beautifully, but those were the three that I chose. Now on my measuring cup, you can see that it measures in several different increments. In measurements, I went ahead and chose to use the ounces. So I'm adding 3 ounces of hardener and 3 ounces of resin. Oopsie. And I'm doing it by volume. You always measure resin by volume and not by weight. If you measure it by weight, it's not going to turn out correctly. So I'd like to talk to you about something because I'm interested in your opinion. I'm thinking about switching my channel from all alcohol inks to doing some other videos too, and I'm curious what you think. Would you like to see various videos on different crafting projects using different materials, never knowing what you're going to get from week to week? Or should I stick to alcohol inks exclusively and do nothing else? I would love to know what you think. If you could leave your thoughts and ideas down in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. I just think that all alcohol inks is getting a little tedious. So I'd like to do some videos on resin first. But then I thought, well, why stop at resin? Maybe we could do videos on all sorts of crafting ideas because I have loads of supplies and lots of ideas. So I'd love to know what you think. If you wouldn't mind leaving me a comment, I would really, really appreciate it. I hope you'll join me on the adventure no matter which way it goes, because I love trying new things and changing things up. So if you get something from this video, I would really appreciate it if you would like, and I would love it if you would subscribe and be a part of our little YouTube family in this corner of the YouTube universe. So that's what is up with that. I just wanted to put that out there and get the thoughts that you guys have before I make up my mind one way or the other. Your thoughts will definitely have an effect on which way I go. So it's important that you leave them in the comments. So here I am measuring out the resin so that I can add my resin art to them. Resin art has a proprietary blend of a wetting agent that makes it really easy to add the pigment colors to resin. And I actually add more resin art to my resin than I needed to. I think 3 micro scoops was too much. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the resin one way or the other. So I think I could have done probably 2 small scoops for the amount of resin I'm doing. But you can see that the jars of resin art that you get are really big in comparison to the amount that you need to use. I just love this stuff. They focus on resin art is put out by a company called Color Art, and they focus on all kinds of sparkly products. And every product they have has glitz and glimmer and sparkle and shimmer, and they're just luscious and wonderful, and I love them. I absolutely love Color Art, and I highly, highly recommend you purchasing some products from them if you love the shimmer and the glitz like I do. I have to confess that I'm totally partial to this company because I love everything that sparkles. So I highly recommend their products. I will leave a link to Color Art down in the description box below. So make sure that you check them out because they really are a great company and their products are just scrumdiddlyumptious. You will not find similar products anywhere. So I highly recommend that you check them out and give them a try. You will not be sorry, I promise. Every color that they put out is gorgeous. So now I'm going to level up my canvas. And usually when I do a resin pour, I do it on a wood panel, not on a canvas, because sometimes they sag in the middle and the resin can separate from the canvas. And there's just a lot of problems using canvas for resin. But I didn't have any wood panels this week, so I went ahead and used a canvas. That's not true. I have wood panels. I was just entirely too lazy to go out and dig them out of my garage. So now you know the truth on why I'm not using a wood panel. I'm using a canvas panel all because of my laziness. But if you guys comment that you'd like to see more resin videos, then I will absolutely get those wood panels out. So just cleaning off my canvas, making sure there's nothing on there. And I'm going to do a very simple pour. I'm just going to put down a puddle of the green apple and now a puddle of the wild jasmine on top of the green apple. And then I'm going to do the blue moon on top of all of that. And I haven't done a pour in a very long time. I've only done maybe 2 or 3 pours in my life, but it's been a long time. So I started to tilt the canvas now, but then realized, whoops, you don't tilt quite yet. I need to finish adding my resin. So I finished adding all of my resin colors, and this is when I realized I had too much resin. But that's the thing about resin and the difference between pouring resin and pouring acrylics. If you do an acrylic pour, you can't have too much paint, and you've got to tilt off all of the extra paint so that it doesn't craze or crack. But with resin, I could have left all of this resin on my panel and it would have just dried, cured the way that it was on there. I didn't need to tilt any of it off. The only reason I did was because I was trying to get the colors to move. So had I not needed to move the colors, I could have left all of this on my panel and it would have dried beautifully. So you can see that the resin art colors just move gorgeously. Aren't they beautiful? I wish that that ring light glare wasn't in the way, and that causes a lot of problems with resin because resin is so reflective, especially using these color art colors, that the ring light is a big distraction in the middle of them, and I will try to figure out a way to do my lighting differently so that you don't get that. But I just think that the way that these colors spread are just gorgeous. And the colors pop up in unexpected ways when you tilt like this. And this is so simple. Anybody can do this. It's just putting your colors in a puddle in the middle and then tilting your canvas around to get all of the corners, the edges covered. That's it. That's all I've done. And you can see the colors toward the top peeking through from where they had moved before. And then we have that big swath of blue that dips in to the panel. It's just gorgeous. And it's even more gorgeous in person because it really looks 3D. You can see all of the layers of the colors underneath. It's just gorgeous. I probably should have dumped more of the blue off, but it turned out beautifully. And I even managed to get some cells in this, which just shocked me because I can't seem to get cells when I do an acrylic pour. So for them to pop up in my resin pour was very exciting to me. I got very excited and lost my mind for a few minutes. So I'm just painting the edges of the canvas, the corners that I didn't get when I tilted it. That's all. And the resin is self-leveling, so it will kind of cover over where I've blotched it up with my fingers. And won't be an issue. You won't be able to tell at all that I did anything with my fingers. It'll all just flatten out and kind of dome over the top of the canvas, and you'll never be able to see where I fixed little imperfections with my fingers at all. You can tell up in that upper left-hand corner that it's kind of self-leveling already and starting to work itself out, and that was the corner that I fixed with my fingers. So I just need to wipe all the resin off my fingers because it is incredibly sticky and does stick to your fingers, to your torch, to anything that you touch. It's very sticky. So I'm going to get rid of the air bubbles by using my torch. And I'm just gently going over the entire piece to pop all the tiny air bubbles. If a torch freaks you out, which it shouldn't because torches are very safe if you use them correctly. But if it freaks you out, you can always use an embossing heat tool, heat gun. You could use a regular heat gun. You know, there are lots of options for popping the bubbles if you don't want to use a torch. So let's take a close-up look at the canvas, and you can see the cells that I got up there in the upper edge of the canvas. Isn't that exciting? And there are more cells along this edge. I really wish that that stupid ring light wasn't in the way. But we'll pretend that it's not there. You can just see the layer of colors, the layers of colors that I got. And it's just gorgeous. It shimmers and shines. It's just a beautiful, beautiful piece. And I absolutely love it. I forgot how much I love playing with resin and color art, and I just forgot how much I love it. So here's a still photo of what we did once it was cured. And I had some resin left over, so I just popped them in these little bezels, and now I have some bezels to make some jewelry with. Look at how the colors swirled. Isn't that gorgeous? So remember to give me a like and please subscribe if you haven't. I'm so glad that you could join me for another video. I hope to see you in the next one. Have a wonderful week and do something creative this week. Get out there and explore your creative options. I'd love to see what you make, so make sure you tag me. Thanks for joining me again, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.